Hello friends, again welcome to my channel. Here we are discussing about the second part of the antigens. Within the first part we are discussing about what is meant by the antigens and the types of antigen. That is the endogenous antigen and the exogenous antigens. Again these antigens can be get differentiated into the two types on the basis of their molecular forms and their abilities. Now the two of the main properties of the antigens, these are the immunogenicity and the antigenicity. Immunogenicity and antigenicity, these are the two specific properties of the antigens. These are related with each other, but these are get differentiated from each other. Now the first property, that is the immunogenicity. Now this immunogenicity, it is the ability of an antigen to induce the immune response. It is an ability of the antigen or any substance, ability of substance to induce the immune response. To induce the immune response or to provoke the immune response. That is the stimulation of immune system. Stimulation of immune system or to generate the antibody synthesis. It is called as the immunogenicity power. It is the ability of a substance to induce the immune response. It is the immunogenicity. Now the second important point, it is the antigenicity. Now this antigenicity, it is the ability of the substance to interact with the immune cells. To interact with the immune cells. That is, here the antigen, it means there is the antigen antibody reaction. The ability of the substance to interact with the formed immune cells in a specific manner. This property of a substance, it is called as antigenicity. It means, as we know that whenever there is the antigen, these are having both of these properties, that is the immunogenicity to induce the immune response and subsequently interact with that formed immune cells. It is called as a complete antigen. Complete antigen. The complete antigens, these are having both of the abilities, that is the immunogenicity and antigenicity. Also they are inducing the immune response and also interact with the immune cells. It is called as the complete antigen. Now secondly, the another point, it is the incomplete antigens. Incomplete antigens. Now these incomplete antigens, these are the substances which cannot induce the immune response. That is, they are not having the ability of immunogenicity, but they are able to interact with the immune cells. Means these are possessing the antigenicity. Only one of the property which is related with the antigen, it is present within this, and due to that these are called as an incomplete antigens or the heptans. Incomplete antigens or the heptans, these are the substances which are unable to induce the immune response but able to interact with the formed immune cells in a specific manner. These are called as the incomplete antigens or the heptans. Now the reason behind that, it is these heptans or the incomplete antigens. Heptans or the incomplete antigens, these are having the smaller size. These are having the smaller size. Due to their small molecular size, these of the heptans or these of the incomplete antigens, these are unable to induce the immune response. Now again, the basic concept behind that, it is, as these are having the smaller molecular size, these are not properly get processed. Means there is absence of the antigen processing, and in the absence of antigen processing, there is no proper representation of these antigens towards the immune cells, and for that purpose they are unable to induce the immune response due to their smaller molecular size. Due to their smaller molecular size, they are unable to induce the immune response and only can interact with the formed immune cells, with the preformed immune cells. Due to that, these are called as the incomplete antigens. And heptans, that is with smaller molecular size. Smaller molecular size. Now, these heptans or the incomplete antigens, they may be converted into the complete antigens. How they can convert into the complete antigens? Now, why these are the incomplete antigens or the heptans? That is due to their molecular size, smaller molecular size. Now, if anyhow, if we are increasing their molecular size, then they are getting the ability to induce the immune response, and then they can convert into the complete antigens. Now, if these heptans, they can conjugate, if they conjugate with the larger molecules, then they can be the complete antigens, and at that condition they can induce the immune response. So they can conjugate with the larger protein molecules. They are conjugated with the larger protein molecules, and they can easily get converted into the complete antigens. Converted into the complete antigens. So it is the difference between the complete and the incomplete antigens. Okay. Now those of the substances which are having the smaller molecular size, that is those of the protein substances or those of the antigens with molecular size less than the 5000 Dalton, they can be considered as an heptans. They can be considered as an heptans. Now the another concept related with these antigens, it is the super antigens. Super antigens. No doubt the heptans or the incomplete antigens, they are unable to induce the immune response, but these super antigens at a higher rate, they are inducing the immune response. At a higher rate, they can induce the immune response, and due to that, these are considered to be the super antigens. Super antigens means at a higher rate, there is the activation of the immune cells. There is activation of the immune cells. Now, how they can induce such type of the immune response? These are acts as an mitogens. They are acts as a mitogenic agent. They are acts as an mitogenic agents. Within that, only if we are considering about any type of the normal antigens, these normal antigens, these can interact with only a single T lymphocytic cell or the single B lymphocytic cells. They are activated, and then there is the generation of the immune response. But in case of the super antigens, at a time they can interact or they can activating more than single cell, and due to that, at a higher rate, there is the generation of the immune response. That is the polyclonal expansion of the cells. Polyclonal expansion of the cells. And here again, these super antigens, these are directly interacting with the TCR of the T lymphocytic cells, of T lymphocytes. T lymphocytic cell, that is the T cell receptors. Directly they are interacting with the T cell receptors of the T lymphocytic cells, and for that purpose they are responsible for generating the higher immune response. Now the example of these super antigens, it is the staphylococcal enterotoxin. We know that within the food poisoning, preferentially the enterotoxin which is produced by the Staphylococcus aureus, it is present within such type of the food, and whenever these are induced, such type of the enterotoxins which are produced by the Staphylococcus aureus, these are acts as a super antigens. These are responsible for generating the immune response at a higher rate whenever they are introduced to our body. Along with that, the heat shock proteins, again which are produced by the Staphylococcus aureus, these can be also acts as a super antigens. So it is the whole information about the super antigens and the other two types of the antigens, that is the incomplete and complete antigens. So if you are like this video, please subscribe the channel and also share this video with your friends. Okay, thank you.